This is a tea biscuit. I've got it already mixed up, so it's a tea biscuit mix up until the time that I put the milk into it. This time I have used half whole wheat flour and half all-purpose flour because I'm going to make a dough that we can put in a pizza pan, and a very quick way of making pizza. And then another, with the other part of it, we're going to roll out some biscuits which will take the place of perhaps English muffins, which can be used in a different way. There are literally dozens and dozens of ways that you can use the dough from a tea biscuit mix or a tea biscuit procedure. So I need my 2 cups. Remember, I've doubled this recipe again. And we'll proceed on from here. Just the usual procedure. Putting it out on the board, lightly floured. That's a nice mixture. Now you notice the softness and how I want it to pick up just enough flour. Don't put the flour on the don't put the flour on the dough, but just pick up your dough and drop it, and it will pick up as much flour as it needs before I knead. K-N-E-A-D. Give it your 8 or 10 kneads. See, what I'm really doing as in the kneading process, this is a bread technique. And it's a great way to learn how to knead, and later on when you're doing bread, you've got the technique down pat. You're really folding it in half, and then you're pushing that half into the center. You give it a quarter turn, fold it in half, push it into the center. Quarter turn, fold it in half, push it into the center. And for bread, of course, you're going to do it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. But in a light cake, you handle your dough lightly. It's only done about 10 to 12 times, or until your dough is nice and smooth. And once you start to do this, you will feel the texture developing. And I'm going to cut this ball of dough. I just want to save half of it for the other part because I doubled the recipe so I could make pizza with one, and then we're going to make shells that we could make mini pizzas. This is a quick way to make a pizza dough. Later on we'll show you how to make pizza dough. It's very, very easy with yeast products. Use your bit of shortening and just grease your pizza pan. You know, on the bottom of pizzas, you often have a little bit of cornmeal. Now, you don't have to put it on. If children don't like it, then don't. But it's nice. Cornmeal is ground up corn, and corn is a whole grain, and it's a very nutritious grain. Now, mind you, what you're using here isn't going to give you all that much because you're only putting on a little tablespoon. I buy this at the bulk food store or at the bulk department of your local grocer if they have one. I'm going to give it a roll to start out with. Keep rolling it in a circle if you can. Do you notice that I'm not turning the dough over? You don't, when you roll, don't turn the dough over. You roll it from the one side. That's important in pastry making pies. Now this is stretchy because we've developed the gluten in the flour with doing that kneading. So it stretches on you. That's okay. Put it into your pizza pan. Now do the rest with your hands. Push. That's exactly what you would be doing if we were using a yeast dough. Exactly the same procedure. You want to get this fairly thin. There's 2 ways to finish this. You can try it both ways and see which way that you like it. There's no reason why you can't just use the raw dough, which is what you would do if it were yeast dough, and just put your tomato sauce on it, then your little bit of cheese, your pepperoni, your mushrooms, whatever you want, your cheese on top, and then cook the crust and everything at the same time. However, with the tea biscuit mix on the bottom, sometimes you might like it if this were cooked about 5 minutes in a hot oven before you complete it. You can try it both ways.